Welcome to County Portal, your simple source for local government services and public records. Let's get started.
Does the U.S. Treasury have a tax ID number? It's a question that sounds simple, but the answer reveals a lot about how our government actually works. The short answer is yes, it does. But it's not for the reason you might think. The U.S. Department of the Treasury, like other federal agencies, has what's called an Employer Identification Number, or an EIN. An EIN is basically a social security number for a business or organization. The IRS, which is a bureau within the Treasury Department, issues these numbers. So why would the Treasury need a number from one of its own departments? The reason is simple: the U.S. Treasury is a massive employer. It has thousands of employees, from IRS agents to analysts at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Just like any other employer in the United States, whether it's a small business or a giant corporation, the Treasury has to manage payroll. It needs to withhold federal income taxes from its employees' paychecks. It needs to withhold and pay Social Security and Medicare taxes, also known as FICA taxes. To do all of this legally and keep the paperwork straight, it needs an EIN to identify itself as the employer in its filings to, well, itself. It's a purely administrative and logistical requirement. Think of it as a bookkeeping tool. Now, here is the crucial point that causes most of the confusion. The Treasury does not have this tax ID number to pay income tax on its revenue. A government department paying income tax to itself would be completely circular and make no sense. It would be like you taking $1 out of your left pocket, calling it income, and then putting it in your right pocket as a tax payment. The money never left your possession. The Treasury's role is to collect tax revenue for the entire federal government, not to be taxed on that revenue. So, when you hear that the Treasury has a tax ID, remember what it's for. 1. It's an Employer Identification Number, an EIN. 2. It's used strictly for employment purposes, like processing payroll and reporting employee tax withholdings. 3. It is absolutely not used for the Treasury to pay income tax on the money it collects for the nation. It's a fascinating piece of government bureaucracy that shows even the agency in charge of taxes has to follow the same employer rules as everyone else. Hopefully, that clears up a surprisingly complex question. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this explanation helpful and want to learn more about how money and government really work, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video.